Alrighty, I hope this happened. We get live for real this time. Looks like we had some more technical issues. We weren't able to catch the back half of that map, but let me fill you in on what happened. So, what happened largely, especially in that last point, CMU had issues taking high ground. Kent State won that map because largely of their control of the high ground. A blue card is going to be the player to watch here. Definitely the alpha threat for CMU to be watching for. They played the Sojourn almost exclusively in this team comp. And so now it's going to be interesting to see, like, oh, it's Midtown. Oh, interesting. Midtown is going to be the next map, which is not the normal thing that CMU likes to do. Usually it's King's Row. So Midtown is an interesting adaptation. There's still a lot of high ground for Blue Card to be able to do his work on, which does make me a little worried, but it's going to be interesting to see how CMU adapts to this. Because now they lost that first map because largely they couldn't deal with that high ground. There were so many angles that they were players, and it was really difficult for CMU to be able to take that. And so that's what happened. And as a result, they weren't really able to get the ball rolling quite as well as they would have hoped. And now they're down 1 point in the match. And so as we go into this, all teams are readied up, except for I believe we're waiting on Kent State's production team to be able to run it. And then it's gonna be going in. And it's interesting to see what happens here because it's all about the adaptations. Overwatch is a game all about adaptations in between these rounds. But Kent State has put up a very formidable answer. CMU really had issues getting things moving, but we'll see how it goes. As we're entering the game right now, I can't wait to see what happens here because I would expect to see maybe even maybe Zack tries to take the duel against a blue card. Maybe we go like Trace or Genji dive or something like that would even work to put blue card on the back step. CMU's going to be defending first, and it's a Kent State to mark off our start. It's interesting to see how that goes. It's going to be the same kind of thing here. Same comp from Kent State, except for that Baptiste. That's the only thing different from from map 1 it was largely the Baptiste. So this is the same map team comp that we saw Kent State run, the same team comp that we saw CMU run largely. I see Zack on that soldier trying to lay down some of that extra damage, try to duel blue card in some of that long range thing. It'll be interesting to see how that goes now. Because CMU's got to rally around themselves a little bit because they were caught on the back foot, not like they wanted to see there. Now, we'll see how it goes. Time is ticking down, the gates are going to open, and Elijah Pooper is looking to take a little bit of a front angle, get some spam damage, just quick damage. Not going to get a single point as that Orisa Javelin from Wild Thing is just going to block all of it. Actually, he's going to take some damage himself. And already you can see that damage is getting laid on thick and heavy. Ooh, Zack caught way in the back line. That range is just Kent State able to just hold some aggressive angles, just lay down that damage, and just, Wild Thing is just holding W into CMU right now. Just kind of getting collapsed on from all sides as Kent State takes that advantage. That's going to be the point. Okay, blue card goes down. That's a lot of the, a key player down for CMU, but I think the damage is done. I think as that's 2 ticks now for CMU, or Kent State. Try to contest. Zack is instantly going to just fall over. I don't think there's much point trying to contest this because it doesn't really matter. There's not much you can do there. That's the first point. Super, super fast. Zack get caught out. Nero probably going to get caught out. Yeah, just totally get caught out. But Kent State's not going to let her die that easy. And still not dead, just sitting there. This is an impossibly terrible stagger for CMU. There is finally Nero gets released to go back to catch up to her team. And that's just so much long that CMU is going to be without a healer. So if Penn State wanted to, they could push that aggressive direction right now since CMU doesn't have the sustain. Nero goes onto the Kiriko Connect, but TP to get back fast, which is important. And Wild Thing taking all kinds of spam damage as he tries to push up here. He can barely deny the push. Elijah says, I can kill him. But Wild Thing's gonna get booped off, not gonna be able to take it. Elijah has his ult is in kind, and it's just Wild Thing down the point with Kosi. who maybe will get out. Yep, just gonna let themselves die. That's the point. The first team fight win CMU has really won this game. It's definitely the first one of this map, and the first one largely where they looked like they finally were able to get it to work. And I think that was interesting to see what happened. I wonder what happened to Wild Thing, because there wasn't a Lucio to boop him off that high ground. I think he just missed. I think, oh, maybe he was trying to pull someone off to get them into a weird position to make an early kill, which is definitely a bold strategy. Oh, dang, Zack caught out again by that blue card right click. Just a ton of damage laid down. There's the overclock looking to do even more damage. Elijah knows that they've got to go down, but the damage has been done already. Crispy Toast goes down to that overclock. Mac Radical commits the Blizzard, looking for some kind of kill, some kind of action, but it goes in vain. I think that was a little bit of a desperation ultimate at the end of the fight, looking to make something work, but that's the second objective, and an ultimate gone. The instant switch tells me that he's just trying to get off of that Mei. Not able to get the damage. Wow, blue card. This looks like... This reminds me of the times that I would play against a lot of these, like, grade A Sojourns, when Sojourn was super, super strong, when you just... Sojourn was dominant. Like, if you've watched any of Pro Overwatch League, that's kind of like what, like, last season was. You know, a season or two ago in Pro Overwatch League, we looked exactly like this, where it's just Sojourn who just goes absolutely crazy. CMU has to figure out a way to catch them out, but it's kind of difficult to do that. Zack playing by himself here is kind of the way that he's been caught out before, but at the same time, he has his self-heal with that healing field, just like that, so he doesn't have to sit close to his team, but that's, you know, with the way that damage can get taken, it's really easy to die. Mac Radical gets bullied into a corner by that Lucio, and though Elijah's going to get a trade there, that's 2 kills now for CMU. Could be a win fight. Wins are finally going their way here. Crispy Toast got a nice kill with that damage orb after he died, before he died. And we should crack that point open just to push back a little bit against the tidal wave that has been Kent State here in this last while. It really, to me, it looks like once blue card goes down, so does the rest of CMU's strength. Or, excuse me, so goes the strength of Kent State. And so CMU needs to be looking for ways to either isolate that or just try to go on the rest of the team before blue card can get any damage. But blue card has his ultimate online. Elijah going super deep for that kill onto the Frosty Knight. The beat's gonna get committed, make sure that no one else can get a kill there. Mac Radical tries to use that Bastion. Ooh, good kill there. As blue card just swings a little wide, there's gonna be a decent kill and a decent hold. Elijah says, we need tempo. Fine, I'll take the tempo myself. I'm not gonna let them get in here too much. We're super deep, and the rest of the team is right there behind him, which, you know, we've had issues with Elijah's aggression in the past, but that time it paid off really well for him. Looks like they're trying to go high ground, trying to escort their team up into better positioning. Zack with a nice kill onto the Kosi with that, with those missiles. And immediately, that's okay. Back out, reset for Kent State. Now 2:48 left on the clock. CMU finally seems to have found their footing against this team. As they've got the positioning, they've played their position a little bit better. Interesting. Forcing the positioning, trying to get something, but I just kind of gets dodged there. Elijah's going to use his ult and just kind of instantly dies. I think he was pushed a little too far forward for his team to be able to help him without pushing themselves in bad positioning too. And it's mistakes like that that's going to cost them team fights here. Ooh, wow, Crispy Toast barely able to get out there. Really impressive. But yeah, I mean, once you use your Fade, there's nothing left for you to be able to push out. Kent State pushed as far forward as they possibly can. Wow. I would have liked to see Wild Thing die there because he was so low, but that amplification matrix, the window there, was able to land all kinds of damage. Zack now has his attack visor, which can do good. Kitsune's there, looking to pair it here, just get an extra rate of fire. The damage. Kent State knows that they can't win a fight there, and they just instantly back out, which is the opposite of what you want to see. Interesting, Kosi is now gone on the Soldier off of the Tracer. An interesting play as Wild Thing just runs down the back line. Looks like he's just going for behind him, looking to see where Elijah Pooper is not. Crispy Toast has to use his Coalescence to try to keep him alive. Almost losing his life of his own when he has to fade. That does no healing for Pooper, and that's going to be That's going to be the kill. 114 is probably going to be the touch. Mac Radical on the Tracer getting a little bit of time, but yeah, nothing. 110 now is the clock for Kent State, who looks really, really strong here. Because, you know, I just said a little bit ago, see, Overwatch is all a game about adaptation, but that goes both ways. Kent State, CMU has to adapt, but then Kent State adapts right back. And so now it's about how can they fix that? How can they adjust, take this? I'm seeing some good plays here. Elijah saying, he's not ready to just roll over and lose this. He's been a playmaker for this team hundreds and hundreds of times before. He's looking to do it again. And now we look to see what happens here, because Zack and Mac Radical have not been getting quite the space that they would be willing to get before. Interesting. Mac Radical on the Symmetra. I wonder if he sticks this. Because if he stays on this, Symmetra got some buffs recently in the most recent patch that proved really, really well. Because it could prove well, where if you let the Symmetra get up to full charge with her beam, that's 200, it's almost 200 damage per second, which can melt through Wild Thing. It can certainly prove to be really scary for Blue Card and Kosi, you know, some of those lower health pools there can absolutely just rip through them, but that's only if Mac Radical can get full charge. The turrets now also have that Symmetra can play, put forward, also have 50 extra health, so they're gonna, you know, not get instantly broken. They can do a little bit more. Still, you know, get dispatched pretty easy. It's a still target, but largely the reason you play that Symmetra is all for the teleporter. Teleporter to be able to get into the back line. I'm looking for the window that's behind that point is largely where they're going to be looking to go. It's all about if Elijah can create enough space for that teleporter to get up and get through and not get broken. Looking for it. There goes the push. Mac Radical just getting taken down by that Hanzo arrow to the head before he was able to. It doesn't look like Nero was able to get to either, because that teleporter just got broken way too fast. Which is that issue with that Symmetra team, or Symmetra-based comp. That teleport does not have the health pool to stay up too fast, and Mac Radical stays on this Metro, which means he's looking to hang out a little bit more. He's not done with it yet, and they might try that again. It didn't work the first time, but that doesn't mean you give up right away. It doesn't mean you instantly swap. Spitos on the Brigida, it worked for him before in a comp that wasn't so long-range based, but I wonder if this isn't going to work out for him too well, just because Brig needs to be able to deal damage to activate that area of effect healing. Wild Thing just saying, catching Mac Radical out before the rest of his team is able to body block for him. There goes Nero. There goes the rest of his team. As just Elijah left alive to be able to take that. Left in spawn now. It's 240. They did get a tick when they first teleported in, which is good. And so now they only need to get 2/3 of the point, but they have to get there. And a lot of this problem is Crispy Toast can't get his area of effect healing up because they're playing so far back in the team. This is Kent State plays a comp that is super focused on poke damage. This is one of the strongest poke damage comps. Up goes the TP. Nero getting caught out again before they're able to put it up. This time though, the majority of CMU gets crossed. Elijah uses his ultimate to get one kill on Kosi there, but as he does it, the rest of his team just falls behind him. CMU now having issues just making it to the point, let alone capping it. Okay, Mac Radical finally swaps off that Sojourn. It doesn't really work the way he wants to. And still, I mean, Crispy Toast hasn't gotten to a rally yet in this entire time, which is why, especially at this point, I would be thinking, you know, you gotta make a decision eventually about when you want to swap out, when you gotta trade something different. We know he has a good Kiriko. We saw it in previous games. Singular, I should say. It's a Dragon from Kosi. The Wild Thing's going to try to catch him in, kind of like we saw in Akron's playbook, taking a play from that similar kind of ult combo, but not as well coordinated, not going to make it as much of difference as it did in that last game. Nero has the Amplification Matrix, which can go very well with Zack's Tac Visor if Kent State allows them to take it, because what happens... Oh, blue card goes down. Looks like he got a little cocky there. Caught out Elijah. If there's anyone to do it, Elijah clearly... I mean, he's the highest rank of the team, so he has the game skill to be able to take that out. The beat's going to be committed. Try to make that, get some use for it. Looks like Zack's looking for his window. A little bit of an anti-synergy there, committing both of those ultimates. It looks like maybe Des was just trying to get... Nero was just trying to get as much damage as they can to try to break that, but... You know. And they were able to cap the point. the power of a amplification matrix and a tac visor, the threat that proves, forced Kent State off the point, and CMU was able to hold them just long enough to take the objective, and now they just won the fight off of that because Kent State was caught a little staggered. They tried to push in to recontest, died for it, and then CMU was able to get a really nice cleanup round. Zack looking to take some space here before Kent State regroups. Elijah's right there with him. Cooper just making sure that Kent State gets no space to set up Kosi and Blue Card. Because if they can deny as much of that as possible... Ooh! Beautiful kill there. Looks like Blue Card just kind of fell over the side. Wasn't really ready for it. And that's the ultimate committed from Elijah's gonna grab Lex. That's a good point of healing from against Kent State. Let's see, he's really going for that Baptiste to make sure that, yeah, he gets the kill. Beautiful there. Beautiful focus, not worried about Wild Thing at all, and it's all Elijah here as he takes that kill. Cart hasn't stopped moving either, which now we're closing in on that second objective is really good for CMU. I think they've finally gotten a little bit more confidence here. Nothing to contest that. It's going to be the point for CMU. One step closer to being able to match up with this. Now, there goes Kosi as well, caught out in a very similar way that Nero did on that defense, just late spawns. I mean, CMU wasn't able to stagger quite as long as Kent State did, but that's a good kill, which means that Kent State can't take an aggressive fight to stop this momentum like they want. Now, Kent State does have 3 ultimates. They have the amplification matrix. They have the overclock, which can work so beautifully together. It's all about if CMU has to immediately disengage as soon as they see that threat. There goes the window. Amplification matrix gets used. CMU trying to play around the cart. It's going to be the dragon to try to force him back, and force it back it does. This Wild Thing and Blue Card are going to take out Mac Radical and Pooper alike. Kosi gets another kill, and Zack's in an interesting position to kill. Get a nice exit pick on Frosty Knight there. Mac Radicals respawns on the Bastion, and Crispy Toast goes down. The last of CMU to fall in that team fight. He has his rally now, and he has in-kind with Nero's amplification matrix. I'm looking at that tac visor. They haven't been able to get that really working the way that I would like to see before, but that can change here. Interesting. I can see, I don't know if the viewers caught that, but Blue Card is sitting in the top left of where Zack is right now. There's the overclock. That positioning is going to be really interesting, trying to catch that high ground, but a good response from CMU to not let anything happen there. As I say that, Nero is going to go down to the Terror Surge from Wild Thing. And that's the go button for Kent State as they just flood forward on that objective. Forcing CMU back. Zack gets out with his life, and no ultimates were committed here from CMU. Mac Radical goes back onto the May. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. I was really worried that Javelin was going to get a kill confirm against Zack, which is just going to stall CMU even more. It's 1:30 left on the clock now. If something's going to happen, the point very well might get pushed into the final objective in overtime, if at all. The wall gets used there, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens next, because it's all about what happens here. Those walls are pivotal to block off the sightlines of Kent State. The Dragon gets committed. Mac Radical uses the wall to try to push his positioning, but Pooper just goes so deep there with his ultimate, he's not going to get any value. Crispy Toast used his rally to try to keep him alive, but it wasn't able to get what they wanted. Zack gets an exit pick on Frosty Knight, but with the way the spawns work here in favor of the defenders, it's going to mean that it's not going to mean too much here. By the time that CMU is able to push a fight onto the objective, Frosty Knight's already back. So, I mean, at most, it's a little bit of alt charge for the favor of Zack. And now we've got our window still. Nero's been holding on to this for the entirety of the cap on first point, all of second point, and now most of third point. When he decided to use it, looks like he might be lining it up, waiting for that other window to go through so he can face that properly. There it goes. Good damage is going to be put in there. But the Terror Surge, they just back up onto the objective because that window has no sight there. Zack gets a good kill onto Wild Thing, and all of Kent State's backed up. They know that they don't have to take that right now. Here comes overtime. CMU walking the point forward a little bit farther. A wall gets put up. There goes the Blizzard, saying if you're going to touch, you're going to have to force into the Blizzard. Oh, but it's close. Blue Card goes down. That's all of the damage. That's a lot of that damage. The Dragon gets put on, trying to force Central Michigan off the point, but they're still holding on by their fingernails as they hold this. Nero's keeping the team alive. The only point of healing now as Mac Radical and Pooper try to take the fight. Mac Radical gets the kill, It's going to be only 2 people on life. Down goes Nero. Down goes Mac Radical. And unfortunately, 0.055 meters away from the objective to stay in that. Kent State takes map 2. I mean, that was still... I mean, that looked a lot better from what we saw in the last map. If you saw the last map, that was good. Elijah gets play of the game here because of his just absolute ability to just push, push, push. I mean, this was another defense where he played, which was that first team fight for CMU saying, okay, yeah, this team can bleed. We can beat them. Down goes that kill. Nice pick there. And so it's going to be interesting to see. Just give me a second. I got to take a drink of water. All that talking for one person. Rather difficult. I'm not going to lie. But that being said, it looks like CMU is getting a little bit more confident. That's what I would take from that if I was watching that. CMU gets a little bit more confident, and because they almost were able to take it into more rounds there, which what would happen there is anyone's guess, but still, that's close. That's close. That's better than we'd like to see. So now we go probably onto Suravasa because it's either Suravasa or it is New Junk City. That's the one. And since that's CMU won on Suravasa, they have the confidence they're most likely going to go back to Suravasa if I had to guess. But what happens after that, it's about if CMU can finally... It looks like they're getting close. They're starting to figure out how to take out Kent State, and it largely starts with a lot of that damage coming in from blue card. So stay tuned to see what happens. We're going to take a quick break while our players reset, use the bathroom, get themselves kind of mentally reset as well as we come into the third map. CMU has their back against the wall here. Stay tuned to find out what they do next. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting our team rolled up. As you can see in the top of the score is currently 2-0. The next map is going to be Suravasa. Let's see what happens here. This was the map that CMU was able to win here. Or last week, yeah. We can see they're going to be on the blue side there. And so this is the map that CMU's going to feel, you know, no matter what, they took a map here. So no matter everything that the stress that's been going on, they took a map last time. So they have in their heads, they can do this. This is a winnable game for CMU. They just got to repeat what they did 2 days ago. Which, you know, completely different circumstance, completely different team. Kent State seems to be, you know, from what I can tell, and I'll make this statement, seems to be a little bit higher standing than Kent State is. I mean, the record will back that up. And the blue card has just been playing an absolutely demonic Sojourn here and looks to keep that going. Kosi's going to be going on the Symmetra, probably for just a TP out of spawn with the Lucio speed boost, means that they're going to get to point super fast. I'm interested to see if Kosi stays on the Symmetra. Stick around, we'll see what happens. As the spawn gates open, CMU comes flooding out there trying to go as fast as they can, but you know, I don't think it's going to be nearly as fast as what Kent State can handle, or Kent State's going to take him. Zack's on the Tracer here. The first time he's played this character in this set. He's going to be trying to go for a flank. Get some information. Interesting push from Kent State. Usually you don't see people go up on that kind of a flank. Ooh, forcing the recall there. The Tracer 1v1 starts. Mac Radical's going to try to help him out, and that's going to be a confirmed kill for Zack. Beautiful play on that Tracer there, just forcing that. Also going to start looking, you know, Tracer's kind of that raptor, likes to play up, just start poking you from the sides, forcing the attention to be split. A beautiful javelin from here. Oh yeah, good job, Cooper. Huge kill there. And CMU goes flooding forward here. That point's fully in their control. They don't got to worry about taking it. And frosting that javelin straight through the chest, straight through the heart there. It's going to be a death as CMU forces them back. Zack gets a nice kill there on a Wild Thing. And though Mac Radical dies, just going to push a little far forward, a little eager there. 42% for CMU and a full reset for Kent State. Beautiful for CMU. This is exactly what you want to see here. I'm getting a little excited myself here. 52%, 54 and counting. By the time Kent State finally gets here, we're going to be pretty close to a last fight scenario. Maybe, if we're lucky, Kent State would be able to get a point fast, but 70% and climbing here. If they want to try to get a point here, it's going to happen pretty quickly. Nobody has ult on either side, but Elijah Pooper here has 85. He's going to be the first one in the lobby probably to get his, especially when you're pushing this far. It's just letting blue card not play the game at all, and that's going to be the opening point here. There's the ultimate to say, don't go anywhere. That's 2 kills for CMU and a point up. You got one person on point just trying to distract them, force them back. Frosty Knight quickly dispatched, and although Kosi was able to take out Crispy Toast in that moment of turned attention, that's the first point for CMU. Beautiful. Elijah seems to be completely locked in here. He knows what he has to do, and he knows who he needs to kill first. It's blue card. Blue card 64% to his ult. You know, he's falling behind CMU's DPS. Straight up. He's gonna get his ult a little slower than a lot of other people. Zack has his pulse bomb, and since, oh boy, he's caught kind of out. No recall though. I mean, he's got that tool if he wants to go in here. Blue card instantly shut down. There's the pulse bomb. Oh, gonna be a miss, but that's okay. As Kent State finally gets pushed back here. Points gonna be opening in 2 seconds now. CMU's gonna be pushed back, try to cap that. It's gonna be Zack with that extra mobility, making sure that we get that Mac Radical. Also gonna help him out. But Crispy Toast dies to the stuck pulse bomb. That's going to be a lot of healing now for CMU. Cut down a lot of that sustain that they're looking for. Nero here still has that Coalescence, and as I say it, there it is. It's going to be the Death Blossom here from Mac Rattle, trying to get something. Going to get enough damage here to take down Wild Thing. At 24%, CMU hopefully winning this fight, but it's going to be a little tight here. Nothing is certain as Zack gets that kill. The picks start to go the way, but CMU has no healing as Nero dies there, which means it's probably going to be a lost fight there, unfortunately. See Zack just trying to just do as much as he can, keep the team distracted. And it's an instant beat to answer from Crispy Toast's rally. They're looking to hold this out as long as they can. They're getting 60% and a full 20 from when Kent State won that first fight here. And that's, oh, good TP. Can he get out? Oh, good TP. Nice, not dying there, not having to worry about that respawn timer. It's going to be a fast reset from CMU now to be able to take that quickly. The ultimates are in the way of Kent State now, but no, they will be answered pretty quickly. Zack's super close to his pulse bomb, and then it's an even playing field for both of these teams now. Let's see what happens here as we're pushing down this alleyway, trying to go fast to the point. Just Pulse Bomb goes out and it gets both the healers. That is the absolute worst case scenario for CMU. Kosi gets 3 there, and the team just falls apart just instantly. I mean, that's the problem. It's this very narrow hallway that CMU decides to push into, and that's a pretty guaranteed stick. And once somebody's stuck, there's nowhere for anyone to go. You're bunched up. You can't move anywhere, which is exactly what Kosi wanted them to do. And CMU kind of played directly into the hand, and that's what you get. 2-0 now at 75% and climbing. The point has gone the way of Kent State here. Oh, Zack gets his Pulse Bomb eaten. Unfortunate for CMU. That's a lot of ultimates have gotten eaten in the last 2 games. If you watch the last one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's the Terror Surge from Hooper, and a confirmed kill onto the Lucio there. That's both the healers cut down for Kent State, but Crispy Toast goes down, so the healing is not... Oh, wow, that was a beautiful javelin. I'm sorry, that was just across the map. Say, sit down, kid. You're not using that ultimate now. Kosi's super low, gonna use the recall to try to get a little bit of that health back. It's just Wild Thing left on the point, and Zack's gonna have that confirmed kill, making sure that nothing gets out. The point gets flipped. It's 95% and counting. If anyone's gonna touch, it's gonna be Lex here, but he's out. That's a point for CMU. 2-0 now. 1 left for them to take this point. Oh boy. Flashpoint. Next flashpoint. Wild Thing finally, for the first time, has to make an adjustment here. He goes down to the Zarya, which, frankly, is very, very scary for Elijah. On that javelin spin means nothing to a giant laser beam that just pierces right through it. That's gonna be so much damage that goes, so much damage mitigation that Elijah is gonna have a much harder time working with. That's 1 bubble out. It's gonna be going. Elijah goes forward, he's just ignoring the front line. The main heals. There goes Zack with the other confirm. There we go. That's the heals. That's no fight. No heals, no fight. That's the way it goes. There's the point. Which Zack saw the pulse. Let's see if he's able to. He's gone hunting for, trying to find that off angle. Okay, no, the point's secure. That Tracer's out of there. No worries now. Yeah, especially now that you see him there, you know, you don't gotta worry about the flank. Although, still trying for it. Zack knows what he has to do here. The Coalescence gets invested from Frosty Knight in the front of the fight. Mac Radical gets 1 in turn. Make that 2 with a whip shot from Crispy Toast. And here we go. It's going to be a recall after the Pulse Bomb. Not going to catch what they want to, but Pooper has the follow-up to make sure that it goes. Nice trade there. And that's another 1 fight. Beautiful here. That's going to be 4 ultimates got committed. I was looking at the Terror Surge, looking at the Pulse Bomb, looking at the Death Blossom, and the Coalescence here leaves only Rally in the back pocket for CMU. But compared to Kent State here, that could be enough. As we go 70% here, this could be the final fight of this map. Kent State has to get it going right now. We've got beat that might come online in time. There's the rally to say we're going forward. We're pushing. Both of the bubbles get exhausted from Wild Thing as he has to escape. 93%. It's going to be Blue Card who TP'd around the side to go touch the point he's on, but in the front of the fight, 2 goes down. That's Wild Thing and Lex. There's no speed. There's no boost. There's only 2 people left on the point. It's only Frosty Knight to be able to take this. And as the time gets down, there's the fade. Oh, wow. A beautiful javelin means that's the map for CMU. And the map didn't hear it, but I just heard Zack scream at the top of his voice. I bet the team is pumped. That was an incredibly convincing win. I mean, from what I can tell here, you know, earlier in the streams that we've done, CMU, our casters have made some jokes about it's always Survasa. It's always King's Row. Yeah. See, like, I'll hold my thoughts for a second. Just that quick alley there. There's nowhere you can go to be able to stop that pulse bomb. Exactly what I was talking about. But still, you know, a few good pulse bombs doesn't mean anything to CMU. And as you've seen here throughout this map, CMU has slowly but surely gained the confidence that they need. They slowly but surely get a little bit more sure of themselves. Okay, they figured it out. But now we got to see what happens next. Can they carry that forward? It's clear they know how to play on Survasa. We saw it twice now in the past 2 days where that's the map that takes. Now it's Push. Push has a ton of high ground depending on what map you play. And that's where I look at Blue Card and I get scared. Because there's no way for CMU to negate some of that high ground unless they decide Blue Card has to die now. That's exactly what the game plan was going into that last map. And it's now all about whether or not they're able to finish that. It's 1-2 now for CMU. And this could be the beginning of a reverse sweep. It's all about whether they're able to keep their heads in the game and keep it and keep going, which is, you know, now you gotta be careful because there's other thing can happen where you get we call it overheating. See it in every single video game that we play where the team gets overconfident. They think, oh yeah, we just did this one. Keep going, keep pushing. And they push way too hard and they go over the top. They kind of just fall over themselves in that excitement. It's interesting. You gotta negate that. You gotta keep it controlled. And that's all that this next map is gonna be. It's gonna be push now. It's gonna be the point map pick for Kent State. Stick around, don't go anywhere, because this could be a reverse sweep incoming. It's all about what happens next. Stay tuned. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm VGL Bobcat. You know what it is. CMU just took their first map of the thing. It could be a reverse sweep incoming. It's all about what happens next. This next map is going to be New Queen Street, which, you know, CMU, with a lot of the 3-0s that have happened this season, hasn't actually gotten an opportunity to play on push that much. It's kind of just what happens. And so, as we load into this map, let's see what happens here. Because, I mean, you can see it in just our fly-through right here. There's high ground all over the place on this map. You got high ground to the right, you got high ground to the left, you got the bus you can stand at, you got everything here to be able to say high ground. And now, how do you stop? Because high ground is what lost them the first map. You know, it was that Ilios where they were able to just blue card was just able to hang out wherever he wanted to. But CMU knows what they got to do. They know. Again, I've said it a couple times. There are 2 threats here: Wild Thing, blue card. That is the most difficult thing to take this. They're the big threats here. It's Wild Thing back on the Orisa. Tried to do the Zarya, didn't work out at all. As the timer ticks down, what could be the last map here opens up. CMU running a similar comp that they've run here. We can see Crispy Toast on the Orisa, not going to go for the Brig anymore, which makes a lot of sense. They want the cleanse, they want the higher amount of healing, and the range. The range is super, super key here, as the battle for the high ground starts right here on the coast. You see blue cards kind of sitting on an off angle trying to get that poke damage, and Mac Radical looking to clear it, make sure there's no one left lurking around.